6:08. I would like to call our special city council meeting for commission interviews to order. Tonight, we're holding interviews for various openings on several commissions, such as the Housing Authority, Youth Advisory, Library, Contra Costa Transportation Agency, and the Public Authority of the Pittsburgh Enhanced Infrastructure Financing District. Madam Clerk, please call our first applicant.
We have Michaela Cunningham for Housing Authority Commission.
And Madam Mayor, if you'd like, we could set a timer for each one of the interviews. Would you like me to set those?
Yes, I think 5 to 7 minutes would be appropriate.
Okay, we'll do 7 minutes.
Okay.
And if you just let each candidate know that they have 7 minutes, and
Okay,
that each one of the council members has a question for them.
very good. Thank you.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Michaela Cunningham.
Welcome. So tonight, one moment here. We are starting with Housing Authority.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for applying for the Housing Authority Commission. We have 7 minutes each applicant. We have a series of questions that we'll ask as council members, and then just share a little bit more about yourself as we walk through them.
Okay.
Okay? Let's see, so let's get to our first question. First question is around the Housing Authority. What piqued your interest to be part of the commission?
With the Housing Authority or?
Yes, with the
just in
Housing
general?
Authority.
Because I've been with the Housing Authority for quite a few years. And being with the Housing Authority, they've been a help to me a great deal prior to me becoming a senior. And with that, it's given me kind of a light to show that being with them and with them helping me, I feel that I can give advice for anyone that needs help with them and broaden them horizon on anything. You know, it's something that if you haven't had it, you should know different ways on how to use it and advance yourself from it. It helps a great deal with anyone at any age group or even as a senior. Because as I am, I know there's different ways that you can grow from it and having it and benefit yourself all the way around.
Thank you. Which of my colleagues would like to go next?
Good evening, Ms. Cunningham. I have a question. What do you think are some of the key issues for families in securing housing here in our city? Some of the key issues that families are presented with?
Some of the key issues are knowing what they need. Because some don't. And when they don't really know what it calls to get everything accumulated in order, like if they do need housing, what are all the qualifications in order to get it? What are all the qualifications they need to make sure that they're going to fulfill that? That's hard because some have children, some are just on low income, some have different problems with that. And getting that causes a frustration. And especially when you're a senior, you know you're at a level, you're only going to be on a limited income. You're only going to have so much that you're going to be able to get and consume all that month. So how are you going to benefit them if you just don't know? They need someone to work with. They need someone to guide them and understand this is what it takes. This is what I need. They need help all the way around in doing that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go next.
Okay, it's my turn.
Uh-oh.
Welcome, and thank you for applying.
No problem.
Okay, my question is this. Please explain your opinion of a housing authority member's responsibility, and how would you propose to best carry out those duties?
I think the best way for them to do them is to make sure they break everything down so that they fully understand. Because sometimes I won't say lollygag on it, but they don't actually break it down fully enough for some people to understand everything. They'll go in a roundabout way and assume they're going to always understand each item, and they don't. So sometimes they do need help. They do need a breakdown of each item that everyone may need to bring, even when they want to apply, even when they want to know. And sometimes they need that extra help. And having the patience. Everyone needs a little bit of patience to deal with any individual in any way, shape, or form. And once you have that, that will guide a person to go a long way. And as a senior, we need it. And sometimes it's not offered. And patience is a virtue for most people. So when you have that and that's given to you, it goes a long way no matter what.
Yeah.
And you're welcome.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Thank you, Ms. Cunningham, for applying. Just want to follow up on your experience and working with members, and just want to see if there's any ideas that you have. I know a lot of what you shared here is about support and walking people through the process, understanding what's needed. Is there anything that you can see in terms of what the Housing Authority can do to support those that are utilizing its services more? And that could be an array of different services. I know that the vouchers and navigating that is the primary focus, but if there's anything that you believe that the Housing Authority can do to support members that are utilizing its services.
Really, I guess for seniors, if they need help, as far as if they need someone to come out and actually literally help them because they can't get there. They don't have the ability. Speaking with them more because they can't get there for some reason. That is like an overall gist of what they may need. The capabilities are just not always there for some of them to do that. And that makes it a big difference for them. They just get overwhelmed in some of that. And some of that is taken for granted that there's always going to be that for them to do, and they cannot. Because some do have a disability. Like looking at me, you wouldn't think that I do, but I do. And it's taken for granted that some people can just go get there and it becomes done, quickly and right away. But it isn't. And when you need that help, it's like, oh my gosh, we didn't know that you have like what I have. I have epilepsy, so I do have seizures, but you're not going to know it to look at me. But to know that and say, oh, well, we need to help her in this capacity. It's like sometimes they're not going to step above and beyond just what you see. So sometimes it's that little bit that needs asked. That's maybe why they need housing. That's maybe why they need these certain little things. And they're just not doing that. And that's offered, that's really valued by some of the seniors and some of the other ones that do need that have a disability.
Thank you.
Thank you. One thing I didn't ask, and I apologize, at the beginning, just a summary of like your experience for the role and what you would bring to it. So if I can have a minute or two, you could share that with us as a council. I'm sorry. I wanted to ask at the beginning, I didn't give you the opportunity to share like your professional and technical experience. If you could share with us in a minute or two, that would be helpful to kind of apply to the examples that you shared, that you answered to the council.
Working and everything I had beforehand. Well, growing up and working, I went to school and I got my degree in accounting, and I worked in that field for over 15 years. And that's what I did. I love numbers. I love working and accommodating that for many years for different companies in San Francisco. And then after that, I kind of did, other things like I do now. I kind of volunteer a lot. I do things like at my granddaughter's school and do things like that with the PTA and things like PFC and things like that I'm doing now. I just love to help others and love to do other things for other people. That's just the natural gift that I have, and I love to do those things with other people. That's just my type of person that I am. So working with this would help me, help others. It's a thing that a lot of people don't think to do. But if you have the gift to do that and to help others, it does make a difference in a lot of people's lives. So I think why I still have that ability as I'm getting older, I would still love to do that, to give that to others.
Thank you. That's super helpful.
Yes. I was able to do that for like my grandmother, and I still try to do it for my mother who's in her 80s. And so that does make a great deal of difference that some people do take for granted, because it's not always a choice that we all have, but if I can give it, I will.
Thank you. We are going to, we won't make a decision tonight on on the appointments.
Sure.
So we'll take other applicants, and then at a future meeting, we'll actually do we will deliberate and then make the appointments at a later meeting. So thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
Ms. Cheryl Edwards is not in attendance, so we'll be moving on to the Youth Commission. Okay. And our first applicant there is Mariah Cross.
Okay. Good evening. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you for being here with us tonight. Before we get started, one of the things that we are asking candidates is what piqued your interest in serving on the commission? And in your response, please include a summary of relevant education, skills, experience, or any past civic involvement. And then once we hear from you, then my colleagues and we have some questions to learn more about things specific to the role. So,
Awesome.
ahead.
Well, I actually heard about and first became interested in the Youth Advisory Commission in 8th grade, and Miss Collette had come into my leadership class and told us about it and how we would get to be representatives of the youth and get to learn how sort of the city council operates, and we would get to kind of shadow that and do that like for the youth. And I thought, heck yeah, I want to try that. So I signed up, and this would actually be my 3rd term. So that's some experiences. I've been on the commission before for, I don't know, a couple years. And then I've also participated in Pittsburgh's Youth and Government Model Legislature and Courts program. I am currently a cadet with the City of Pittsburgh Police Department. I did leadership for my middle school in 7th, 8th, and 8th grade, and then freshman year of high school, I was also a part of leadership. And presently, I am a student school mental health ambassador for NAMI Contra Costa, which is my current occupation, but I would also consider that experience.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I'll start. Why are you interested in continuing to serve on the Youth Commission?
Well, I've seen the commission from when we were meeting in here to now into the Marina Center, and I really do think it has a lot of potential. So I want to sort of stay a part of it to help watch it grow. And I've seen us have events, and I want to bring that back and continue that. I have a lot of vision for it, so I want to see how far we can get before my terms are up,
Thank you. My fellow colleagues have questions?
Yes. Hi, Mariah. What do you believe are some of the key issues that our youth are currently facing here in Pittsburgh?
I think a big issue is always mental health. We always need not necessarily the resources, but to connect the students with the resources. But I think we also just need more community building events that are like exciting and approachable for the youth. I know that's a big thing that I've been wanting to do with the Youth Advisory Commission is have more events for the youth to participate in. Yeah.
Councilmember Kabata?
Okay. What do you feel that you can bring to the Youth Advisory Commission as a representative of the city of Pittsburgh?
As a representative of the city of Pittsburgh, I want to bring vision to the Youth Advisory Commission. This year, I want to invest in civil literacy. I was in my AP government classroom this morning. We were going over a couple things that will be brought up in this year's midterm. And I thought it was fascinating. And I think that as the representatives of the youth of Pittsburgh, we should also have events to help kids pre-register to vote, to learn what it's like to skim through the ballot and to like go through that. And I also want to help invest in, like I said, events, more event planning for the youth of Pittsburgh to help build those community relationships. And also to create subcommittees even so that we're able to communicate with each other and build things up so we can actually approve things and make things happen as we are in the Youth Advisory Commission.
Thank you.
Thank you for applying, Mariah. You are definitely a bright spot for our youth in the community. I thank you for all your service, not only in the Youth Commission, the cadet program, youth in government. And I remember when you were first appointed, when you came in junior high school, and we saw so much promise in you, and you're just continuing to flourish and develop, and just really excited for the trajectory that you're on. My question is just more so in terms of what do you feel has been the greatest accomplishment while serving on the Youth Commission? And even as you speak about vision, you know, I'm really excited as far as what you all will be doing in the coming year and just kind of just sharing and looking back, you know, what are things that you're hoping will be done, you know, in the next few years?
Thank you. I think by far the greatest accomplishment, while it's not specifically a subcommittee yet, was bringing youth in government to Pittsburgh. I got the privilege to help see the program come to Pittsburgh, and I got to participate both in its first and second years here. And it's such a transformative program where you actually get to participate in the model legislature and courts. I got to learn what it's like to act as a Supreme Court justice. And there are so many different avenues you can go down there. And I love how it gives you the first person feel and experience of it all. And they respect you and treat you as if you were actually learning how to be an attorney. And even just like the family essence of the Pittsburgh Youth in Government delegation, I think was really a beautiful thing that we were able to connect because we had learned about it in Youth Advisory Commission, and I worked with our advisor to talk about it, to bring it here. And for vision, I mean, of course I want to keep seeing youth in government grow with the Youth Advisory Commission, but I want to tie them so that way we have a specific link that youth in government is a subcommittee of youth advisory, and that way we can have correspondence between the groups and we can even help build them even further. I do think subcommittees would help free up the Youth Advisory Commission a lot because a lot of the Brown Act is one of the things we can't communicate with each other as we But with the Brown Act, we can use subcommittees so that we can bring our ideas and develop them and communicate and bring them back to the commission so we're able to have more events. We can make more things happen. We can help lift up the youth to have their voice that they deserve. So those are some ideas.
Thank you for applying and continue to be a leader on the commission and in the community. We will make appointments at the next council meeting, and thank you so much again. It's always so great to see you.
Thank you, guys.
You're welcome.
Next, we have Harold Thompson.
Welcome. How are you?
Hello, I'm good. Thank you for asking.
Good. Thank you for being here. Thank you for applying for the Youth Commission role. Tonight, during our interviews, we'll give you an opportunity to share a short personal statement about yourself, and then we have a few questions for you, myself and my colleagues, to learn more about your interest and why. So I will hand it over to you.
So, my name is Harold Thompson. I go to Queen of All Saints in Concord. Right now I'm a part of student government. I've been doing student government for 3 years now. I've also participated in the Pittsburgh sports, flag football, their basketball, and their Junior Giants baseball. I'm in the 8th grade, and I'm also trying out for baseball teams currently, and I've tried out for my basketball team at Queen of All Saints.
You're a busy young man.
Yes.
I'll do the first question, and then I'll hand it off to my colleagues. First one is, why are you interested in serving on the Youth Advisory Commission?
The reason why I'm running for this is because my uncle inspired me to do this, as he did it in Oakland. So I just want to keep this tradition going on, so I can get into a good high school and to a good college, so it will look good on my resume.
Excellent. Thank you.
Hello, Mr. Thompson. I have a question. What do you believe are some of the key issues that our youth here in our community are facing right now?
So I think that some of the sports are not really easy to access, because a lot of the kids will have to drive out really far to get to different sports. So I feel like maybe if we could add a little bit more sports, but also make them maybe the times of the sports, maybe the practices, make them a little bit earlier, because sometimes in the afternoon kids might have to go to after school curriculums, practices. So yeah, I think that's one of the problems.
Thank you for applying. Okay, my question for you is, what do you feel that you can bring to the Youth Advisory Commission as a representative of the city of Pittsburgh?
I could bring, I think I could bring to the Youth Commission Advisory is making most of the kids, making the, what was I going to say? I think I can bring good leadership and make the kids' words of Pittsburgh be heard about maybe what's going on at the school, maybe help bullying problems a little bit, and yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Just want to say you're doing great, Harold.
Thank you.
Yes.
Standing up, I know it's already nerve-wracking standing before a council, but also kind of with the background. And just want to say you're doing great. And so one thing that stood out to me in your application was the idea about doing a survey, in the community and really hearing back in terms of what people want for the youth. And so if you could just kind of share any ideas, I know you've shared about sports and improving that, for youth in the area. But if there's any other ideas that you think would be helpful or that would be good for youth here in the city of Pittsburgh, want to give you that opportunity to share. If you were filling out the survey, what would you want to see?
So for like the basketball, I feel like when you sign up for the competitive one, it was like when I signed up for it, my team was kind of unfair. So I feel like we should mix around the teams a little bit, make it a little bit less competitive, but still bring like a lot of attention to it. I also think that the baseball, the Junior Giants, I think that we should verse different like teams in like different leagues so we can get a feel for like how travel ball would work. And for the flag football, I feel like it's there. It's really great. I just think that also just maybe a little bit of more competitive. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Turn my microphone off. Thank you so much for applying for the role on the Youth Advisory Commission. We won't make decisions tonight. We will make appointments at the next council meeting. But again, I echo Councilmember Killings and my colleagues. You're doing a great job talking about yourself, sharing your experience, and, you know, just a great job. So I just want to make sure that we say that to you because it is a little difficult. But thank you. And you're welcome to come back to the meeting next week. You don't have to be here, but you're welcome to when we do the appointments at the next meeting.
Okay.
So thank you.
Thank you so much.
There's nobody else under the Youth Commission, and the Library Commission is also not here, so we'll be moving on to Contra Costa County Transportation. And the next applicant is Connie McFarland.
Thank you. Just a moment. Okay. Welcome and thank you.
Hello.
We'll start with, we're giving candidates a 5 to 7 minute timer, so you'll hear a timer while you're doing your presentation. But we're asking candidates to share a short personal statement about themselves. One, why you're interested in serving on the commission, and then your response if you can talk about any relevant education or skills that you would bring to it, or any past civic involvement that would lend itself to it. And then we have a few questions that we'll each, as council members and colleagues, take turns asking. So with that, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Connie McFarland. I've been living in Pittsburgh.
Just a moment. Can you pause for a moment? Excuse me. Please proceed.
Hi, my name is Connie McFarland. I've been living in Pittsburgh since the year 2020. I work in the East Bay AC Transit, and I've been a bus operator. I've worked their DMV desk, and I'm also currently a scheduler, so I have a really good grasp of how public transportation works. I've also utilized public transportation my entire life, including now. I regularly take BART to work. I used to ride my bikes down the streets of Pittsburgh, but then it didn't feel entirely safe. So I know the importance of having multiple ways to travel besides just relying on a vehicle.
Yes. I apologize. It's very distracting because we have some demonstrators there in the back of the lobby. Mr. City Manager, can we call for decorum around how can we...
I'm having a real difficult time hearing the applicant due to the sound volume. So is there
Yes.
anything we can do to maybe, it's hard for me to hear what she's saying.
I agree. We're gonna take a 5-minute recess.
Okay.
We'll take a 5-minute recess and then we'll come back and finish your application so that we can hear you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you for your patience.
All right. You're welcome.
We will leave the dais and we'll be back. And we are asking that folks that are here and in the lobby, that you would respect those who have applied and taken the time by being orderly and really observing the rules of City Council. If we're unable to have order and decorum within City Hall, we are going to be forced to clear the building. Want me to read it?
The Brown Act states at California Government Code 54957.9 that in the event that any meeting is willfully interrupted by a group or groups of persons so as to render the orderly conduct of the meeting unfeasible, and order cannot be restored by the removal of individuals who are willfully interrupting the meeting, the members of the legislative body, and that's defined to include a city council, conducting the meeting may order the meeting room cleared and continue in session. Only matters appearing on the agenda may be considered in such a session. Representatives of the press or news media, except those participating in the disturbance, shall be allowed to attend any session held pursuant to this section. The legislative body can have a procedure for readmitting an individual or individuals not responsible for willfully disturbing the orderly conduct of the meeting.
Thank you, Madam City Attorney. With that, we would like to clear the chamber so that we can conduct our business.
Any news media can stay, and also if you're an applicant or you're participating in the council meetings, you can stay. Everyone else will be asked to leave the building so that the council can continue their orderly business.
Thank you.
All right, folks. Everybody other than the media or people with the standing for the council meeting need to leave. Tonight, under the orders of the mayor, the meeting is being
Thank you. We have returned from recess, and we will continue with our commission interviews. We are interviewing, we're at the portion where we are doing the Contra Costa County Transportation Authority Commission. Thank you so much, Ms. McFarland, for applying for the role. I know you had started sharing a little bit about your professional background before we took recess, and so if you would again share with the council a little bit about your background and your interest in the role, and then we will, as a council and as colleagues, we have a couple questions that we'll each ask. So with that.
Okay, my name is Connie McFarland. I've been in Pittsburgh since the year 2020. I work in transit, and I've worked in various roles from bus operator to a DMV clerk, and currently I'm a schedule analyst. So I'm very familiar with the things that it takes to make transit work, particularly bus transit. I do have some familiarity with rail transit from some classes that I've taken. I'm also aware of how important it is to have things like bike lanes that are not just accessible but feel safe for people to actually want to use. I utilize public transit now. I use BART regularly to work, and I would like it to be a little easier to use transit in general around the city of Pittsburgh and not just have it be reserved for a time when I don't have a car available to me, but something that I would like to use.
Thank you. I will pass it to my colleagues.
Hello, Ms. McFarland. First and foremost, kudos to you. I know that being a transit driver, it's incredibly hard work. You know, we always read about the news and, bus drivers getting assaulted and whatnot. So just kudos to you for being so brave. One of my questions for you is, given your experience, what do you believe is one of the biggest obstacles for residents living here to utilizing public transportation?
Right now, and part of it is because of the budget, and there's not a lot of money going to transit right now. So the buses don't necessarily run as frequently as you like. The network just got redesigned though, so I can't say living here exactly how Tri-Delta would right now affect me. I do know when I use the BART app and I put it in so I can go to work in the morning, most of the time I end up driving or getting dropped off because it just isn't set up for me to walk out of my house, even though I have a bus stop right there, and get to BART so that I can get to work in a timely manner. So I think one of the things that needs to be fixed, it needs to be something that people can get a little more frequently and not have to walk an extra 15 minutes maybe to get the bus that they need to go to work.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your applying, and thank you for your patience during this time. My question for you is, how have you engaged with your local community, and how would you bring those perspectives to the committee?
Right now, I'm the recording secretary for my union, and a lot of the people in my local are residents out here. So one of the things that I would do is bring it up to them at work and at union meetings and things like that on how you could use the transit out here, because we do have a lot of operators who ride transit to and from work, not just AC Transit, but you get on the train in the morning, you see a lot of Muni people. You can use public social media to reach people, but it's really kind of about being out and engaging and talking to people one-on-one, especially when you locate people who are more influential and that they have a greater range of people that they interact with, and just generally sharing the information, because that's one of the problems. It's not enough information shared so that everybody knows what's going on.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for applying. So I know that CCTA is currently going through a process to develop an expenditure plan, and really, without getting too technical, trying to identify projects throughout Contra Costa County, and specifically even looking here in our region that would increase mobility for all modes of transportation. So they've done things as far as the widening of Highway 4, the E-BART extension, even giving local dollars for, bike improvements, pedestrian improvements. So I say all of that to lead up to, in terms of your experience and seeing both in AC Transit, are there any type of transportation modes or infrastructure that you think is needed here in East Contra Costa County, where maybe you've seen maybe a model or maybe a great working system, maybe even outside of California or just anywhere in your transportation background?
Even though at AC Transit, the Temple line isn't the moneymaker that they want it to be, but the idea of having a dedicated transit lane where you can just get on and off the bus and clip to pay and not have to go through the front door, I think is a great way to do it. I don't know exactly how you would model that in this community because we don't have those same traffic issues, but I think something where you could tag, get on and get off, and then also have it be easier to purchase a Clipper card. And I know they're bringing the next generation and you can tap your phone, but get people more educated on how to do that as well. I know that one of the things, even as a union member and a transit operator, I know that right now autonomous vehicles are the future. And I think it's important that we figure out a way to bring that technology in, that it works with the community and the people who live here. And because I went to a CCTA event a couple months back, and that was pretty much the focus, was how do you bring autonomous vehicles into the community?
Thank you. I think that concludes our questions. Thank you again for applying and sharing your knowledge and interest and passion around this particular commission seat. We will make appointments at the next city council meeting, and so you don't have to be present when we make the appointments, but you're welcome to when we do that. So thank you.
All right. Good night.
Good night.
Next applicant is Patricia Utz.
Hello.
Hi, welcome. Thank you so much for applying for the Contra Costa Transportation Authority Commission role. As part of the process, we are asking applicants, we're giving applicants 5 to 7 minutes to share about themselves, including questions. So it's just starting out, sharing a little bit about why you're interested in the particular commission seat and anything professionally about yourself that you want to share. Skills or experience or any civic roles that you've done in the past. And then as a team, we have a few questions that we'll share to learn a little bit more about you.
Okay. Well, my name is Patricia Utz. I currently work where I help out with transportation for my job. So I help out with non-emergency medical transportations with patients and insurance. I do the authorizations for that. I also help set up when it's private pay for the facility. I also am someone who uses public transportation to get to and from for work. So I use the BART and Tri-Delta Transit for myself. So with that, I have access. And I'm aware of what we do and don't have as a person who uses those for our community. I also handle phone calls for my job, directing communication, making sure things are stable and settled. I have health. I work as a certified nursing assistant, which I still keep up with that license for my job to help out as much as I can. And I have also accompanied a lot of my patients to some of these appointments to assist with transportation-wise.
Thank you. I will pass it to my colleagues who have questions.
Yeah.
Hello, thank you for being here tonight. My question for you is, What do you think are some of the obstacles that community members here in Pittsburgh face in trying to get access to public transportation?
Definitely the way it's arranged, the transport positions itself aren't very, what I've noticed with the signs and the advocating of like, this is a bus stop. So that I've noticed it seems to be a pretty good command. Also, just certain areas and locations where they're set is not the most safest or convenient particular. As for the BART itself, I don't have any issues other than sometimes the detours, which might prevent people from wanting to do it, as well as their schedules. But, you know, those are not something.
Thank you. Councilmember Kabata.
Hi, thank you for applying. My question for you is this. What interests you about serving on the Contra Costa County Citizens Advisory Committee?
When I saw this, I thought it really spoke to me because I handle a lot of transportation and I like to see the relief of my patients when they get access to these kind of things. And I've been using Tri-Delta Paratransit for a lot of them, applying with them and assisting them with all of that, making sure that they know how to get the bus fare books and everything like that. So it just felt like something speaks to me about it, and I wanted to see what else more I can do for my community, whether it's Pittsburgh, Antioch, Concord, all of Contra Costa.
Thank you.
Good evening. Thank you for applying. So the Contra Costa County Transportation Authority is developing a plan or working and doing outreach to develop a plan to identify needed projects in the region to really increase mobility for all modes of transportation. So in the past, they funded projects like the widening of Highway 4, the extension of EBART, another of local roads and pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure improvements as well. And so just from your experience or just thinking about what's needed from a transportation perspective, what type of projects or programs do you think should be here in East Contra Costa County that would help people take different modes of transportation outside of driving their own vehicles?
I think if we really opened up the way mobile apps are, like Uber and Lyft are for like paratransit and Tri-Delta, would really benefit a lot of the public to look into it, especially the youth, since we're more adapt to being online and having that access is easier. I know with the transit app that I use, it's sometimes helpful and sometimes not because it's not always correspondent with the actual routes and the buses itself, which I understand. Not everything's going to be perfect, but I think if we had that able to intertwine with something like Uber and Lyft, I think that would really help.
Hi, thank you for applying. So paratransit is a big topic and challenge right now, especially that CCTA is taking up. Since you work in that sector, what do you think is missing in that space, in the paratransit space?
Communication has been the biggest thing that I've noticed. A lot of the times they aren't getting calls nowadays. So they're waiting. Drivers will come in paratransit wise and they see me. I'm actually one of the first ones. And I'll be like, oh yes, let me go get that person. And they're not ready because they never even received the 15-minute call that they used to receive about being told, hey, your ride's on the way. Now it's no longer an option. Same thing with also being picked up from another place. So when they call, they're upset, they're waiting, and they're being told they have to wait longer than what they were expected to be picked up from.
Okay, thank you.
That concludes our questions. Thank you so much for applying and sharing about yourself and your interest in the role. We will be making appointments at the next meeting. You're welcome to come back. You don't have to be present, but you are welcome to come back. And thank you so much for applying.
Thank you for your time, guys. You have a wonderful evening.
You too.
The next commission will be for library, and that'll be Sue McDaniel.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you so much for applying for the Library Commission role. Tonight, we're giving candidates 5 to 7 minutes to share about themselves, and we have a few questions for you all, but we want to know a little bit more about yourself. So can you briefly share a little bit about your interest in the commission seat, your experience, any civic experience that you have that you want to share with us? And then after you share, we'll each have a question for you to learn a little bit more about the role and what you bring to it.
Okay. First of all, I've lived here for 17 and a half years. My husband and I lived all over the world, and we chose Pittsburgh to settle. I have had a library card in absolutely every single town and country that I've lived in. My grandchildren also have library cards here in Pittsburgh. I'm retired now, but I've worked for white shoe law firms for 41 years. I can shepherdize a case without using any electronics still, and attorneys know what that means. And I'm old enough to remember card catalogs and the Dewey Decimal System. I lived in the library when I was a kid, and I think libraries are the original data centers. Am I right? I mean, they're absolutely one of the most important social and community services that the city and county can provide to the community.
Thank you. I will pass it to my colleagues.
First and foremost, thank you for applying. Like you, I've had a long life love for our public libraries. However, I do see a disconnect, mainly with teenagers in using and utilizing the public library. What do you think we're doing wrong as a community in terms of not engaging our teenagers from even going to the library?
Well, I don't think you're doing anything wrong. I just think that the kids need to know that the library is there for them and what all the library offers. A lot of them are like this for 20 out of 24 hours a day. And getting them to realize that actually opening a book, feeling the paper, the pages between your fingers can be really exciting, and that blue light isn't going to happen when you actually crack a book. So I think the kids need to be, I've heard these, some of the youth up here for the Youth Commission applicants, both of them said there's nothing to do for the kids here in Pittsburgh. And, if the library started offering things that would actually appeal to the teenagers, then maybe they'll show up.
Good evening, and thank you for applying for the position. My question for you is, if you could name something that you feel needs to be addressed, and what is your idea to address it?
The library is usually pretty full when I've been there. I go 2 or 3 times a month, I think, and I've gone at all different times of the day and on different days, and the library is usually full, but it's full with people my age, and they're on the computers. I honestly don't know until I get involved with the library to see what could be offered. And I don't, like I said, I don't think they're doing anything wrong. It's just that maybe things need to be redirected.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you for applying. As a library user here in the community, Can you share anything about your experience or what can be done to improve the experience of library users here within the city of Pittsburgh?
Well, first of all, did anybody know the library cards are renewable? I didn't. I tried to check out a book online and was unable to do it. And so I went down to the library and spoke with one of the librarians the librarians are fabulous. We have some of the best, most knowledgeable librarians in this whole county. But they told me that my library card had expired. I had no idea. Like I said, I've had library cards from all over the world. None of them have expired. So that was interesting. And I'm sorry I lost your question.
Just any recommendations for improving the experience for users here within the community at the library?
Well, I know there's a lot of, there used to be, I haven't checked lately, but there used to be a room where you could buy books. When the library would switch out books, they'd get new books in. Some of the old books had to go somewhere, so they had a room where they were half off or something. I think the library had like a book sale, or went in, maybe talked to the railroad bookstore here in town and got them involved. Maybe there could be a program between the two that, we could have book clubs, we could have art. There's all sorts of things to do. The children's program is particularly fabulous. It's my youngest grandchild absolutely loves the children's program.
Thank you. I think that concludes our questions. Really appreciate you applying for the role. We will be making appointments at the next council meeting. You're welcome to come. You don't have to be present for when we make the appointments, but you're more than welcome to attend.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Our last applicant is for the Youth Advisory. She was able to make it, and it's Virginia Galvez.
Okay.
Hello, my name is Virginia Galvez.
Hi, welcome. How are you?
Good.
Good. Thank you so much for applying for the Youth Advisory Commission role. We are asking applicants to share a little bit about themselves, share why you're interested in the position, and any skills or civic engagement that you are a part of or have been a part of. And then after you share that, we'll have a round of questions, and then we'll give you some, talk about the next steps of what will happen after the interview process.
Okay.
So off to you.
I'm Virginia. I'm 17 and I'm a senior this year at Pittsburgh High School. Something that I'm a part of is youth in government. I'm going into my second year and I'm actually going to serve as president this year. And I'm really interested in this role because I want to be able to help host events that get more teens involved. Because I know that like bored teens will find like dumb things to make them not bored. And I feel like giving them opportunities like fun events to go to might make it so that they make better decisions.
Thank you. I will pass it to my colleagues now for questions.
Hello, good evening. Thank you for being here. My question to you is, what do you believe are some of the key issues that our youth here in our community are currently facing?
I think, as a teen myself, I feel like something that I really face is just kind of like, I guess like wasting my time a lot because there's really nothing to, if you ask any teen, they'll tell you there's nothing to do in Pittsburgh. There's no fun things to do. If you wanted to sleep fun, like go to Concord. But I feel like actually hosting fun events will really change that because I know that there's like a lot of people that they'll just go hang out at the park and they'll do like bad stuff. But I feel like if we actually have events where like people want to go to with their friends, like it'll stop people from going from doing those types of things. And it'll actually just like help people make healthier choices, because I know that a lot of the places where you can hang out is just fast food places. Like you can't really, there's not really anywhere to hang out here. Like it's only really parks and fast food places. And I think that allowing people to have other places to hang out will make them make healthier choices instead of just always eating fast food because it's the only place where they can hang out with their friends.
Thank you.
Hi. My question for you is, what do you feel that you can bring to the Youth Advisory Commission as a representative of the city of Pittsburgh?
I think that I could, well, I mean, I feel like I could bring my experience as a teen and, well, yeah, I guess I feel like that's the main thing for me, just like my experience as a teen, because I feel like I have experienced like, or sorry, but sorry, I guess that's just kind of what I want to say, like my experience as a teen, because I feel like I've experienced that boredom of like, oh, I have nothing to do, like we just don't end up really doing anything, or I feel like, well, yeah, and I feel like something that I've kind of struggled with is falling behind in school. And I feel like that kind of was caused because I know that a lot of teens, especially like early high school students, they don't have a car, they don't really have any mode of transportation. So it'd be like anywhere that I would go, I would have to walk there. And then it's like walking there plus walking back plus all the time that I would hang out with my friends. It would just end up taking up my whole day and I wouldn't have time to do my homework and I would really procrastinate and it would really bring my grades down.
Thank you. You're doing great.
Yes, thank you for applying and for serving in the Youth in Government program. You've touched on something that has been something we've been trying to tackle here as a city for a number of years. We call it unstructured downtime, but as you shared in terms of just a lot of time that youth may have, and if they don't find something productive to do, they may get involved in things that may not be healthy for them. And so we have two facilities here in Pittsburgh that really are created for youth spaces. One is the former Boys and Girls Club. It's the Youth Development Center over on Stoneman. And then we have a Marina Community Center downtown here that was created for spaces for youth. So my first question is, one, have you been to either of them? And then the second would be, what would make you want to go to a youth center? If it was a space created just for youth, somewhere to hang out after school, what would make you want to go there if such a facility existed here in Pittsburgh?
I've only gone to the Marina Center during the Youth and Government meetings. I know that they do have other events, but I feel like it's not advertised enough. So it's not really like, a lot of people don't really know about it because the only events that I would know of was events that were going on during the meetings because we would like see the people going to the events. But I feel like if it was more advertised to like, let's just say like in the high school, they put up posters or something and it was just more well known that more people would actually go.
Is there anything that you think should be offered in these spaces that would make youth want to come?
Well, I know that teenagers really like snacks. I feel like that would really motivate them to come, especially for those people who don't really have like a reliable source of like food, like daily. I think that would really motivate people to come.
Thank you. That concludes our questions for tonight. Before you go, the appointment will be made during the next city council meeting. Okay. And so that's when we'll make the appointments. You're welcome to, you don't have to be present for the appointment, but you're welcome to come.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
That's all the applicants, Mayor.
Okay. Thank you, Madam City Clerk. With that, that will conclude the special meeting for commission interviews.